name is Ade Mabo. And we live in a world where so many illegitimate sources of wealth find their way into the functional society, and these people end up being severely celebrated. So it's very important that we know the source of wealth and source of income for people. So many people have asked me, Ade Mabo, what do you do for a living? Let me share with you. Number one, I'm a residual income builder. Residual income means ability to create opportunities where you can have time and money together. The time is important for the humanitarian work I do. The money is also very important for humanitarian work I do. Plus the 5 things that make me functional as a man: God and family, travels, residual income building, teaching, and most importantly, humanitarian work. So what have I done? First of all, I started my career in a 9 to 5 when I got to Canada in my late 20s. My first company I worked for is called Bombardier, which is an aerospace company designing business aircraft. I worked in the Toronto office and, of course, in the Montreal office. And then, of course, when oil prices started to rise in the Alberta region of Canada, I moved to that part to work for Husky Energy with a consulting company called Tata Consulting Services, one of the largest consulting companies in the world. From Tata, working with Husky Energy as a project manager, and I moved to ATB, Alberta Treasury branches, where I was a director for BI methods and practices when David Moye was still the CEO of ATB. And I was overseeing completely data governance, entire project management and business analysis team, the entire business intelligence team, and most importantly, the SAP implementation projects across that place. My mastery, my core area is migration projects. That's what I focused more on, migrating projects. So I could migrate from a legacy system to a Microsoft SharePoint interfacing with users at the front end. I could migrate from an existing system, either legacy or none, and migrate them into SAP projects. And we manage source to target multiple times across that line. But something one day happened. Oil prices dropped from over $100 to less than $30. And what happened is the entire economy of Alberta almost crashed. More than 50,000 people lost their job, including me. It was at that point I made up my mind that I would not be working where I stage my time for money, getting paid, where somebody determine how much money I get paid in a year, where somebody determine how much time and vacation that I had in a year, and when somebody determine what day of the week I have to wake up and where I have to show up. So I decided to go into the world of entrepreneurship. Lucky enough for me, I went into the world of direct sales almost immediately with a company called American Communication Network, and I started leading their direct sales company. I rose to a position of director in a very short time, leading the expansion into Mexico, Colombia, Peru, and multiple other countries, learning the basis of entrepreneurship, learning residual income, learning time, and learning money, and how to have both together. When you do something one time and it starts to pay you over and over and over and over again. After Alberta Treasury branches, I started expanding that methodology to multiple of the things that I did. I own a company called PCI, which was attached to the biggest hotel luxury chains in Canada, where we store a banking ATM machines in those places. And every time somebody goes in there and take out money, we make about $3 average, which is shared between the ownership of the hotel, we, and of course the merchants in between that. And then from there, of course, I bought a medical spa in Houston, Texas, one of the largest medical spas out of Houston. It's called Bliss Day Spa. And eventually we moved that company into an online mobile spa, which my wife handles right now, using technology as a way of leverage. I set up a company called Bits by Dara, which is an educational tech company where we teach kids how to use AI, coding, and learn piano, mathematics, all online, with all of our users spread across the world and our technical team based here in Nigeria. We metamorphosed that company into what we now have, a Pod and Code Academy, which my wife is beautifully leading, ensuring that neither is she the one taking the classes, neither is she the one with the children, but she can still make residual income in between. We call it a sweet in the middle. Many of you who know me know that I have an hospitality business in Lagos. I have Canada and the US as well, but now that I'm predominantly based in Lagos, I have a functional hospitality business where we host people in a beautiful oceanfront properties where you get to rent, more like Airbnb, but we call it shortlets here in Lagos. We also have luxury cars. You want to rent Prados, Range Rovers, all of that. People come in and rent that at every point in time. In fact, as I was speaking to you, many of my cars are out there. That makes a little tiny percentage coming in every single month. And now we've also taken residual income into the world of agriculture. We're growing oil palms, where we do the work one time, we nurse it for 3, 4, 5 years, and every year each tree pays us a certain amount of money every time that they harvest, because we don't have to do anything after they start to come to harvest. You harvest every year, year after year. We just have to have a team who is going to be doing the processing and putting out there back in the market. I can go on and on and on and on and on the multiple residual income opportunities that we've created, and how those multiple opportunities have done amazingly well. For example, one of the things that I did when I came into Nigeria a few years ago was to create residual income in the world of real estate without having a dime, without having a dollar of my money in making that happen. How did I do it? People ask me that. I found out in my estates, the service charges were a little bit high that you have to pay to run and maintain your property. And I found out that there's so many people who live abroad who bought those properties, lived abroad, and they have to lock it up for 10 months or 11 months in a year, and they only come up for 2, 3 months. When I saw that opportunity, I asked the estate management to please give me the data to all the people who have those apartments. Obviously, they refused to because of data protection, but I asked them to send a proposal on my behalf saying that I will pay all their service charges, I'll pay all their infrastructure charges, I will maintain their place for them, and whenever they come back, they'll be able to get that place sparkling clean, with standby workers working for them absolutely free every single year. And a few of them reached out back to me. We struck a deal. Repair your place, make it look this certain way. I will take the keys. I'm going to flip it to a management company. They will use it for something called shortlet Airbnb. Every single year, we will pay all of your charges, all of your infrastructure, and we'll also put money back in your pocket. Each of those apartments did 1.5 million or so every single month. And we were paying the owners maybe 100 or 200,000 every single month, plus all their charges, maybe 200,000-300,000 every single month. And we had more than 10 of those apartments. I didn't have to show up there. I didn't have to clean up the place. And then all I had to do was to set a system, process, and procedures for me to connect A to C, and I will always be in the middle, called B. And that's how we coined out the suite in the middle. And those properties ran independently. The owners of the property is happy. The agents running the place is happy. We that are making a percentage of every single transaction of that, we're also very happy. And I can tell you multiple of those. When I came back as well, I struck a deal and became a dealer with Azam. And all I had to do is every percentage of business that we bring to Azam, I want a little tiny percentage that's going to come to us. And the first place I went to is to my estate. We have a 5 billion naira then portfolio of buildings. Now it's about 50 billion. And we feel that all the people there, they have homes, they have cars, they have workers. Why don't we give them car insurance? Why don't we give them home insurance, medical insurance for their workers? Get sick, they can get HMO, something like that, where they can get free healthcare services, and the estate itself can insure itself against fire. They signed a deal, and every time that deal goes in, every year that they renew it, a percentage comes to the lazy guy in the middle who makes those deals happen. So we continue to create multiple residual income opportunities in multiple places under something we call the 515 rule. I'm not going to spend more than 5 hours of my time a week, and they must do $5,000 a month in income. Then we call it residual income. So aside residual income, I also do a lot of federal government contracting, and of course, contracting and consulting services with my company called Cyber Tech Incubator. And what we do in this space is we solicit for federal government-based contracts. If in the future we're going to solicit for Delta State contracts, oil and gas company contracts. And the primary purpose of that is sustainability. Because if we continue to build this much in infrastructure and development to the riverine communities, at some point, we would need to be able to have a way that we can sustain paying all the nurses, buying the drugs, so maintaining the water, ensuring that the schools continue to go on. And this is the reason why we're now playing in the federal government contract space, and eventually we'll be able to move into the states and to the IOCs and the local indigenous companies, so that we can always partner together to ensure that we sustain, we maintain, and will continue to improve on what we have on ground in our riverine areas. And then we can give away all of that money to people who need it in the communities that they need it. That's how we founded Ade Mabo Foundation, to give you time and money together. And with God's blessing, we will impact 1 million lives when we are done. Thank you.